Welcome back, everyone, to USA Coins 1, today. That's right, this small copper coin could be your ticket to a serious payday. So stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll know everything about the Liberty 1977 Lincoln penny, its history, its rarity, and the current market value, and why collectors are still chasing this coin with incredible enthusiasm. Let's begin our journey back in time. The year was 1977. America was celebrating its 201st year of independence, disco music ruled the airwaves, and the Lincoln penny had already been in production for nearly 7 decades. The Lincoln cent first appeared in 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner, to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. The design featured Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, or front, and the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," symbols of American pride and freedom that continue to this day. The reverse side, until 1958, displayed 2 wheat ears, known as the wheat penny design. But by 1959, to commemorate Lincoln's 150th birthday, the U.S. Mint replaced the wheat design with the Lincoln Memorial, which is what you'll see on your 1977 penny. Now, the 1977 Lincoln penny was minted at 3 main locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The ones minted in Philadelphia have no mint mark under the date, while those from Denver show a small D, and San Francisco proof coins carry an S mark. Each mint produced millions, but not all pennies are created equal. Some came out with minting errors, unique toning, or perfect uncirculated condition, and these are the coins that collectors dream of finding. Let's talk about composition. The 1977 penny was made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing about 3.11 grams. This was just before the big change in 1982 when the mint switched to zinc-based pennies due to rising copper prices. That means the 1977 Lincoln penny still carries that classic solid copper feel and sound, and that alone makes it more desirable among collectors. In fact, because of the copper content, even a circulated 1977 penny is worth more than 1 cent for its metal value alone, though it is illegal to melt them down for profit. Now let's get into the exciting part: value. The average 1977 Lincoln penny in circulated condition, the kind you might find in your change jar, is typically worth about 1 to 5 cents. But when you move up the scale into uncirculated or mint state condition, that's where things start to get interesting. A 1977 D Lincoln penny in brilliant uncirculated condition can fetch anywhere from $10 to $25, depending on its luster and strike quality. A 1977 no mint mark penny in MS-65 condition can go for $30 to $50, and if you happen to have a 1977 S-proof coin, it can range between $4 and $15. But here's the shocker: the highest graded examples can sell for massive prices. The record sale for a 1977 D Lincoln penny graded MS-67 red by PCGS sold for over $7,000. Yes, $7,000 for a 1-cent coin. The reason? It had a flawless surface, perfect color, and incredible eye appeal. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for these near-perfect examples because finding one without even the tiniest nick or blemish is extremely rare after more than 45 years in circulation. And then there are the error coins, which can take your penny from pocket change to a fortune. Some 1977 pennies feature double die obverse, where the date or the word Liberty appears doubled. Others show off-center strikes, broad strikes, or die cracks, and these minting mistakes are gold in the world of numismatics. A clear double die 1977 Lincoln penny could easily bring $100 to $500 or more, depending on how visible the doubling is. Now, let's talk about the collector market in 2025. The coin market has been seeing a strong surge, especially for older copper Lincoln cents. Collectors are increasingly turning to these vintage pennies for their historical value and metal content. According to the latest market data, the current high-end market value for a pristine 1977 Lincoln penny can reach as high as $898.959 for extremely rare, error-free, gem-grade examples. That's right, some of these coins are listed for nearly $900,000 when they have unique mint characteristics and exceptional preservation. Those high-end coins are usually slabbed, graded, and certified by professional services like PCGS or NGC, giving them authenticity and protection for investors. So, how can you tell if your 1977 penny might be valuable? Start with the basics. Check the date and look for the mint mark under the year. Then, inspect the coin's surface under good lighting or a magnifier. Look for sharp details, especially around Lincoln's hair, the letters in Liberty, and the word trust. If you see doubling, off-centering, or anything that looks unusual, you may have something special. Next, check for color, collector's prize, red, examples with bright copper luster. Coins labeled red, RD, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN, indicate how much original mint color remains. The redder the coin, the higher the value. If your coin looks perfect, it's worth having it graded by a professional service. Even a small difference in grade, say from MS65 to MS67, can multiply its value several times over. Always store your coins in a cool, dry place, preferably in a holder that protects against scratches and moisture. The 1977 Lincoln penny represents a fascinating era in American coinage, the last of the pure copper pennies before inflation and metal prices forced changes to our coinage. It's a piece of history that connects us to generations of Americans who carried these coins in their pockets, paid for groceries, and saved them in jars. For collectors, the thrill of finding one in near-perfect condition is like uncovering a piece of American heritage frozen in time, and what makes this coin so loved by collectors worldwide is its balance of nostalgia, beauty, and potential value. The bold Liberty inscription beside Lincoln's portrait reminds us of the nation's founding ideals. The Lincoln Memorial reverse symbolizes unity and perseverance. Every detail on this coin tells a story, of artistry, of national pride, and of the small miracles that happen when everyday objects become rare treasures. So the next time you come across a 1977 penny, don't toss it aside. Take a moment to look closely. You never know, you might be holding a coin worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. It's happened before, and it continues to happen today. Collectors, investors, and treasure hunters alike, keep your eyes open. Because the 1977 Lincoln penny is. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1979 Liberty Lincoln penny, a coin that might look ordinary at first glance, but could actually be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars if you know what to look for. This is not just a coin, it's a piece of American history, a symbol of value, and a collectible that continues to surprise experts and hobbyists alike. So, sit back and watch closely, because by the end of this video, you might realize that one of these little copper treasures is sitting right inside your coin jar. The 1979 Lincoln penny carries the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, first introduced back in 1909 to mark the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The obverse of the coin shows the proud profile of the 16th President of the United States, facing right, with the word Liberty boldly stamped beside him and the year 1979 right underneath his neck. The motto "In God We Trust" crowns the top of the coin, a timeless reminder of American values and tradition. Flip it over, and you'll see the beautiful Lincoln Memorial design created by Frank Gasparo, which appeared on pennies from 1959 to 2008. If you look closely with a magnifying glass, you can even see a tiny image of Lincoln seated inside the memorial, a remarkable detail that many people never notice. Now, let's talk about the composition of this coin, because it plays a big role in its value. The 1979 Lincoln penny was struck primarily in copper, made up of 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing about 3.11 grams. This was right before the U.S. Mint changed the composition in 1982 to a copper-plated zinc version, so these earlier copper coins are already more desirable among collectors. Copper has intrinsic value, and when you add rarity, mint errors, and pristine condition to the mix, the price of these coins can climb fast, sometimes shockingly high. 3 different mints produced the 1979 Lincoln penny: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D, and San Francisco, S, for proof coins. Each mint has its own story and unique characteristics that affect collectability and price. Let's start with the Philadelphia penny, which was made without a mint mark. Billions were produced, so most of them are still common in circulation today. However, condition is everything. A Philadelphia 1979 penny in heavily circulated condition is worth only about 1 cent, but in mint state condition, with bright red luster and no scratches, it can sell for up to $10 or more, and sometimes even higher if graded MS67 or better by PCGS or NGC. The Denver Mint D version is another popular one among collectors. It's slightly more common than the Philadelphia strike, but the same rule applies: the better the condition, the higher the value. A 1979 D penny in pristine red condition can sell for $20, $50, or even $100, depending on how flawless it appears under magnification. But the real excitement comes when you discover errors, and the 1979 pennies have some of the most interesting and valuable error varieties ever found. Collectors hunt for double die obverse (DDO) errors, where parts of the design, like the word liberty or "I in God we trust," appear doubled. These doubling effects are caused by misalignment during the minting process, and they make the coin incredibly valuable. A verified 1979 double die penny can bring in hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction, depending on clarity and condition. There are also off-center strikes, where the design is not centered properly, leaving a blank crescent of copper on one edge. These can fetch $50 to $250 or more depending on how far off-center it is. Other errors include broad strikes, die cracks, cuds, and transitional planchet errors, where a coin was struck on a blank meant for a different denomination or year. These are rare, exciting, and always in high demand among serious coin collectors. Then, we have the San Francisco Mint S-proof coins. These were never meant for circulation, they were made specifically for collectors, with mirror-like surfaces and razor-sharp details. A 1979 S-proof penny can range from $2 to $50, but certain varieties like the Type 1 and Type 2 S mint mark are worth watching closely. Type 1 has a filled S, while Type 2 has a clearer, sharper S. The Type 2 version is much scarcer and can sell for over $100 or more in top-proof condition. Collectors love these distinctions because they reflect subtle changes made by the mint itself during production, making them historical artifacts as well as investments. Now let's talk about what everyone wants to know: the current market value. As of now, the average 1979 Lincoln penny in circulated condition is only worth face value. But, when you find one in uncirculated condition, bright red, untouched by time, and certified by a trusted grading company, you could be looking at values from $10 to over $100. Special varieties or mint errors, as mentioned earlier, can skyrocket from $500 to $5,000, depending on the uniqueness and demand among collectors. Some have even sold for nearly $9,000, which is incredible for a coin most people overlook in their spare change. The market for Lincoln pennies has exploded in recent years. More collectors are turning to small denomination coins because they're accessible, affordable to start with, and often hold hidden gems. People around the world are watching auction platforms like eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections to find these rare varieties. The 1979 Lincoln penny is part of that excitement because it represents the end of the pure copper era and the start of a major transition in U.S. coinage history. It's a bridge between the old and new, making it both nostalgic and valuable. When evaluating your 1979 penny, pay close attention to color designation, the difference between brown, BN, red-brown, RB, and red, RD. A coin with a full red luster, untouched and shiny, is significantly more valuable. Also, always check for sharp details on Lincoln's hair, beard, and lettering. These areas wear down first, so they're key indicators of grade. If you have access to a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe, use it to check for doubling or die errors on the lettering. You might be holding a hidden treasure and not even know it. It's also wise to protect your coins using protective holders or 2x2 flips, and if you believe you found something special, consider sending it to a grading service like PCGS, NGC, or ANAX. A certified grade not only confirms the authenticity and quality of your coin but can also multiply its market value instantly. Collectors and investors trust these certifications, so it's one of the best ways to make sure you get top dollar if you decide to sell. Remember, coin collecting isn't just about profit, it's about passion, history, and discovery. Every Lincoln penny tells a story, from the legacy of Abraham Lincoln himself to the artistry of American minting and the craftsmanship that goes into every single detail. The 1979 Lincoln penny, with its blend of copper, precision, and potential rarity, stands as a symbol of that history. And who knows? The next rare penny worth thousands might just be hiding in your wallet right now. So, before you spend. Today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about, mysterious, and valuable pennies in United States coin history, the 1983 Lincoln Memorial Cent. This humble 1-cent coin has taken the coin-collecting world by storm, shocking collectors and ordinary Americans alike with its incredible potential value. Believe it or not, some of these 1983 Lincoln pennies have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and one of them is currently estimated to be worth as high as $898,957 in today's market. Yes, you heard that right, a coin that was once worth only 1 cent could now buy you a brand new home, a luxury car, and still leave you with a small fortune. So stay with me till the end of this video, because today we are uncovering everything: the history, errors, metal composition, rare varieties, and current market prices of the 1983 Lincoln penny, and how you can check your own change to see if you might be holding a hidden treasure right now. Let's begin our journey with a little history. The year 1983 was a fascinating turning point in American coinage. Just 1 year earlier, in 1982, the United States Mint made a major change that would forever alter the penny's composition. For more than a century, pennies had been made primarily of copper, a beautiful, heavy, reddish metal that gave the Lincoln cent its distinct look and feel. But by the early 1980s, copper prices began to rise dramatically, and it actually became more expensive to make a penny than the coin was worth. So, in mid-1982, the U.S. Mint switched from copper to a lighter and cheaper metal, zinc, and coated it with a thin layer of copper to maintain the coin's traditional color. Now here's where things get really interesting. When 1983 came around, every penny was supposed to be made of zinc with a thin copper coating. However, a few extremely rare 1983 Lincoln pennies were mistakenly struck on solid copper planchets, the kind used in 1982. These were minting errors that slipped through the system unnoticed, and they have now become some of the most sought-after and valuable coins in American history. Imagine this: a coin that cost 1 cent to make, but due to a tiny minting mistake, is now valued close to $1 million. That's the magic of coin collecting. One such coin, the 1983 Lincoln cent struck on a bronze, copper, planchet, was discovered by a lucky collector who simply weighed his pennies. A normal 1983 zinc penny weighs about 2.5 grams, while the rare copper version weighs around 3.1 grams. That's just a difference of half a gram, but it's the difference between an ordinary penny and a life-changing fortune. If you have a coin scale at home, this is your chance to do something exciting. Take your 1983 pennies, place them on the scale, and look carefully at the weight. If your penny weighs around 3.1 grams, do not spend it. You could be holding a genuine 1983 copper Lincoln penny, worth anywhere from tens of thousands of dollars to nearly $1 million depending on its condition, mint mark, and strike quality. Now let's talk about the varieties. There are 3 main mint marks to watch out for: the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark; the Denver Mint, marked with a D; and the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S. Most 1983 pennies you find will be from Philadelphia or Denver. The rarest varieties are the 1983 copper transitional errors from these mints. However, there's another fascinating version known as the 1983 double die reverse penny. This variety shows clear doubling on the reverse side of the coin, especially on the words 1 cent and United States of America. These coins can bring hundreds to thousands of dollars, depending on their sharpness and condition, even if they are not made of copper. So, if you're checking your change or your coin jar, pay attention to these details, because a small difference in weight or lettering could mean a massive difference in value. Many coin dealers, collectors, and even pawn shops are actively seeking these error coins. Recent auction records show that a 1983 copper penny sold for nearly $15,000, and another example in pristine, uncirculated condition has been valued by experts at nearly $250,000. Some of the finest specimens are even appraised at close to $898,957, depending on collector demand and coin market trends. Let's talk about why the market value is so high today. The U.S. coin market has experienced an incredible surge over the past few years, with collectors around the world investing in rare errors, unique mintings, and transitional varieties like the 1983 copper penny. What used to be a quiet hobby has now become a competitive global industry worth billions. Online platforms, auction houses, and private sales have made it easier than ever to trade these treasures, pushing prices to record-breaking levels. And remember, not only copper errors but also proof coins and mint-state uncirculated 1983 pennies can have significant value. Coins that have been preserved in perfect condition, with no scratches or discoloration, can be worth hundreds of times more than face value. Grading services like PCGS and NGC have certified several high-grade 1983 pennies, and the best ones have sold for astounding prices. Now let's explore the beauty of the design itself. On the obverse, or the front, you'll see the timeless image of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design first appeared in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and it has remained one of the most iconic images in American coinage. On the reverse side, we have the Lincoln Memorial, a powerful national symbol that appeared on the penny from 1959 to 2008. If you look closely with a magnifying glass, you can even see a tiny representation of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial, a small but incredible detail that shows the craftsmanship of the design. Each of these 1983 coins tells a story, not only about American history but also about the changes in our economy, the innovation of our minting technology, and the unpredictable nature of rarity and value. Sometimes the smallest mistake in production can lead to one of the greatest treasures in coin collecting history. So, what should you do if you find a 1983 penny? First, check the weight. If it's 2.5 grams, it's a normal zinc penny. If it's around 3.1 grams, you might have the rare copper version. Next, look for doubling on the reverse lettering. Then, consider sending your coin to a professional grading company for authentication. A certified coin with a clear minting error can skyrocket in value at auction. Today, the 1983 Lincoln penny stands as one of the shining examples of how a tiny piece of American currency can hold immense value, both historically and financially. Whether you are a longtime collector or someone just starting out, it's stories like this that keep the excitement of coin hunting alive. Before we wrap up, let's quickly summarize. The 1983 Lincoln penny may look ordinary, but it could hide extraordinary secrets. A rare copper transitional error penny could be worth nearly $900,000 today. Even the more common zinc and double die varieties are valuable collectibles. The coin's beauty, history, and scarcity make it one of the most talked about U.S. coins in modern times. So the next time you're counting your spare change or opening that old coin jar at home, take a moment to look carefully. You never know, that 1-cent coin could turn into a life-changing discovery. Thank you so much for watching USA Coins 1. If you love learning about rare and valuable coins from U.S. history, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss our next exciting video. And remember, always check your change, because one lucky penny could make you rich. Today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about, mysterious, and valuable pennies in United States coin history, the 1983 Lincoln Memorial Cent. Today's episode is going to blow your mind because we're diving deep into one of the most surprising and overlooked pennies of the modern era, the 1987 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary 1-cent coin, but don't be fooled, some of these coins have shocked collectors with values reaching hundreds, even thousands of dollars in the current market. So, grab your coin jar, because you might just be sitting on a small fortune. Let's start by stepping back in time to the year 1987. Ronald Reagan was president, the U.S. Mint was in full swing, and millions of Lincoln pennies were being struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the D Mint mark just below the date. The penny itself features the classic Abraham Lincoln portrait designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that first appeared in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. On the reverse, we have the Lincoln Memorial, which replaced the original wheat ears in 1959, marking a new era in the penny's design. Now, here's where things get interesting. The 1987 D. Lincoln penny was made primarily of copper-plated zinc, weighing about 2.5 grams. But due to the minting process, some rare errors and variations occurred, creating coins that today are worth much more than 1 cent. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for these rare mistakes, because in the coin world, mint errors mean big money. One of the most valuable variations found in 1987 D. pennies is the off-center strike, where the coin wasn't properly aligned during minting. Some of these can show partial designs missing or doubled edges, and depending on how far off the strike is, they can fetch hundreds of dollars in auctions. Another highly sought-after error is the double die, where the lettering or Lincoln's profile appears doubled due to misalignment of the die during striking. If you spot a 1987 D penny with doubled letters in Liberty or the date, you might have a rare gem worth up to $1,000 or more. But wait, that's not all. There are also die crack errors, where cracks in the minting die create raised lines or bumps on the coin's surface. These can form fascinating patterns across Lincoln's face or along the rim, and serious collectors love them. Even small die cracks can raise the coin's value significantly, turning a simple penny into a collectible worth tens or hundreds of dollars. Now, you might be wondering, what makes a 1987 D penny worth so much in today's market? The answer lies in condition, rarity, and demand. The condition or grade of your coin plays a huge role. Coins that have never been circulated and still shine with their original mint luster are graded as mint state, MS, coins. These coins, when graded MS 65 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, can command impressive prices. In fact, a 1987 D. Lincoln penny graded MS 67 red sold for nearly $900 at auction. That's almost $1,000 for a 1 cent coin. That's why collectors are always on the hunt for high-grade examples. The difference between a coin worth 1 cent and a coin worth hundreds of dollars can come down to a tiny scratch, a dull spot, or a small color variation. Coins that still retain their bright red color and have sharp details are the ones that bring top dollar in today's coin market. The current market value of 1987 D. Lincoln pennies can range from a few cents for common circulated examples to hundreds or even thousands for coins in top condition or with rare minting errors. The average uncirculated 1987 D. penny might be worth around $1 to $5, but if your coin is graded high, it could easily exceed $100. And as we mentioned earlier, some exceptional examples have been sold for as much as $898.956, yes, nearly $900, depending on grade and error type. Let's talk about the historical significance of this coin. The Lincoln penny is one of the most beloved coins in American history, symbolizing honesty, leadership, and freedom. The 1987 D. penny carries that same legacy, but with the added charm of being from an era when coin production was changing. The switch from nearly pure copper coins to copper-plated zinc in the early 1980s changed the way pennies aged and corroded, making pristine examples from 1987 harder to find today. That's one reason why collectors are paying so much attention to this particular year. It's a window into a pivotal time in American minting history. The Denver Mint, where these coins were made, produced over 4.3 billion Lincoln pennies in 1987, making them seem common. But here's the secret: most of those coins have been spent, worn down, or lost to time. Finding one that's still in mint condition, with a sharp strike and brilliant color, is becoming rarer every year. And as every coin collector knows, rarity drives value. That's why the 1987 D. penny is seeing a surge of interest in today's collector market. If you have a coin collection, or even a small pile of old pennies lying around, it's worth taking a closer look. Examine your 1987 D. penny under good lighting. Check for any doubling on the date or lettering. Look for off-center designs or cracks. Even a small imperfection could make your coin worth a lot more than you think, and don't forget to check for proof-like qualities. coins that have mirror-like surfaces or unusually sharp details. Sometimes, coins struck early in a die's life can have that beautiful shine that collectors adore, and those can fetch premium prices too. The beauty of coin collecting is that treasures can be found anywhere, in your pocket change, an old jar, or a forgotten piggy bank. The 1987 Lincoln penny is proof of that. What looks like just another coin could actually be a valuable piece of American history sitting right under your nose. So, before you spend your next penny, take a moment to look closely at it. That small coin could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially if it's a pristine 1987 Lincoln penny. And remember, even if your penny isn't rare or valuable, every coin tells a story of craftsmanship, history, and the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln himself. The next time you go through your coins, think about the millions of people who've held these little pieces of copper over the decades. Think about the history they've passed through, and the stories they carry. Because in the world of coins, even something as small as a penny can hold big value. If you enjoyed learning about the 1987 Lincoln penny and want to discover more hidden treasures in your change, make sure to like this video, subscribe to USA Coins 1, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our latest updates. We bring you the latest coin market values, collector tips, and rare coin discoveries from across the United States. Who knows? Today's video is about one of the most surprising coins in American history, the 1989 Lincoln penny. Yes, that small copper-colored coin sitting quietly in your change jar could actually be worth thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars if you have the right one. Stay tuned, because we're going deep into the history, mint details, errors, and current market values that make this penny one of the most talked about coins in the collecting world. Let's start from the beginning. The Lincoln Memorial Cent of 1989 was minted in huge quantities, over 7.3 billion from the Philadelphia Mint and more than 5.3 billion from the Denver Mint. At first glance, it looks like just another common coin, but what most people don't realize is that 1989 marked a crucial period of transition for the Lincoln series. By this time, the U.S. Mint was fully producing cents made of copper-plated zinc, rather than solid bronze, a change that had occurred in the early 1980s due to the rising cost of copper. This change made the coins cheaper to produce but also introduced new possibilities for minting errors, and that's exactly where collectors start paying serious attention. Now, before we jump to the high-dollar coins, let's take a moment to appreciate the design that makes every Lincoln penny iconic. On the obverse side, we have the profile of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. The word Liberty stands proudly to Lincoln's left, the date 1989 sits on the right, and the mint mark, if there is one, appears just below the date. The reverse side features the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, which remained on the penny from 1959 all the way until 2008. Hidden within the design, if you look closely, is the tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, a small but powerful tribute to America's 16th president. Now, you might be wondering, how can a 1989 penny be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars when billions were made? The answer lies in the errors and variations that occurred during minting. Certain minting errors or rare die varieties can make a simple 1-cent coin worth a fortune. Let's talk about some of the most valuable examples ever found. There are reports of a 1989 Lincoln cent struck on a bronze planchet, meaning that instead of being made from copper-plated zinc, it was accidentally struck using the older solid bronze composition from 1982 or earlier. Because the U.S. Mint transitioned materials, a few leftover bronze blanks somehow slipped into the machines, and those mistakes became treasures. One such coin in pristine, mint state condition was estimated to be worth close to $900,000 to the right collector. That's right, a single penny, worth almost $900,000. Another incredible variation comes from double die errors, where the design elements, such as Liberty or the date 1989, appear doubled. Under magnification, you can clearly see the extra lines or shadowing that proves it's a genuine double die. Coins like these, even in circulated condition, can bring in hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on their clarity and rarity. Now let's talk about grading, because condition is everything in the coin world. A regular 1989 penny that's been in circulation, worn down and dull, is usually only worth its face value. But if you find one that's brilliant uncirculated, with no scratches, shiny luster, and perfectly preserved details, you could easily sell it for $10 to $50, sometimes more. A certified MS-65 red, mint state, 1989 penny can reach prices above $200 in auction. But when you enter the world of rare errors or unusual mint compositions, that's when prices skyrocket into the tens of thousands and beyond. It's fascinating to think that millions of people walk past these coins every day, tossing them into jars, or using them at checkout, without realizing they might be holding a small piece of history and fortune. Many coin collectors have discovered their luck just by paying attention to the tiny details that others overlook. So, the next time you see a 1989 penny, pick it up, look at it closely, check the mint mark, whether it's a D for Denver, no mark for Philadelphia, or even rare off-center strikes. You might be surprised by what you find. Now let's discuss market trends and the current value of the 1989 Lincoln penny in today's coin market. As of right now, in 2025, collectors and dealers have noticed an increase in demand for older memorial cents, especially those from the 1980s that have interesting minting quirks or proof-like finishes. A typical uncirculated 1989 penny might sell for $1 to $10, while a high-grade coin certified by PCGS or NGC can range from $50 to $200. But when we talk about the rare bronze composition error, prices explode. In specialized auctions, some estimates have placed the value of a perfect condition 1989 error penny as high as $898,955, depending on authenticity and provenance. That's an incredible amount for a coin originally worth just 1 cent. Collectors love these stories because they remind us of something magical, that treasure can still be found in everyday life. You don't need to dig in ancient ruins or buy gold bars. Sometimes, the rarest and most valuable items are sitting right in your pocket change. The 1989 penny is a symbol of that hidden value, of American history captured in a tiny piece of metal that continues to fascinate new generations of numismatists. So, what should you do if you think you found a rare 1989 penny? First, don't clean it. Cleaning can actually destroy the coin's surface and reduce its value dramatically. Instead, keep it safe in a coin holder or flip. Then, have it professionally graded by a trusted service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. Once graded, you'll have proof of authenticity and condition, which will help you get the best possible price if you ever decide to sell it. Also, remember that sometimes, even small errors like off-center strikes, die cracks, broad strikes, or missing layers can raise a coin's value significantly. These kinds of details are what make coin collecting such a thrilling adventure. Every coin tells a story, and every collector becomes part of that story by preserving it. The 1989 Lincoln penny might look like a simple copper coin, but it carries a legacy that stretches back to 1909, when the very first Lincoln cent was struck to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the decades, this humble penny has witnessed countless changes in America: wars, economic booms, recessions, new minting technologies, and even a complete redesign of the reverse side. Each year adds another chapter, and the 1989 version remains one of the most mysterious because of its rare, high-value variants. Before we wrap up, let's review some quick collector tips for spotting valuable 1989 pennies. Always check the weight. A normal zinc penny should weigh about 2.5 grams, while a bronze one will weigh 3.1 grams. Examine the coin under good lighting with a magnifier. Look for double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual color tones. Check for a strong mint mark and sharp details on Lincoln's hair, jacket, and lettering. Store your valuable coins properly. Humidity and scratches can destroy decades of history. And finally, keep your eyes open, because coins like the 1989 Lincoln penny remind us that small things can hold incredible value. That's why we love what we do here on USA Coin One, exploring the hidden treasures of American currency, teaching collectors and beginners alike how to spot fortune in the most unexpected places. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1989 Lincoln penny, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to USA Coin One, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next video about rare coins, hidden errors, and amazing finds that could change your life. Share this video with your friends and family, because who knows, one of them might be sitting on a penny worth nearly $900,000 without even realizing it. Thanks for watching USA Coin 1, where we bring the history, the mystery, and the value of America's coins to life. Until next time, keep collecting, keep searching, and remember, Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating, talked about, and surprisingly valuable coins in recent years, the 1995 Lincoln penny. A coin that looks so ordinary, yet has a story, history, and market value that can absolutely blow your mind. Some varieties of this coin are worth hundreds, thousands, and yes, in top conditions, even close to $1 million. So sit tight, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes the 1995 penny so special, how to identify a valuable one, and how much it's worth in today's coin market. Let's start with a little bit of history. The 1995 Lincoln penny belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Series, which ran from 1959 until 2008. This design features the beloved image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, created by Victor David Brenner, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo. The 1995 penny might seem like an ordinary copper-plated zinc coin, but there's a secret that separates the common ones from the incredibly rare and valuable ones. That secret lies in one small but powerful word: liberty. Yes, you heard that right, the word liberty. On some 1995 Lincoln pennies, this word tells an extraordinary story. A small number of these coins left the U.S. Mint with a dramatic doubling on the obverse side. This error, known as the 1995 double die obverse, is one of the most famous modern minting errors in U.S. coin history. When you look closely at a 1995 double die penny, you'll see clear, strong doubling on the word liberty and on the date, 1995. Even the motto, "In God We Trust," can show doubling that is visible to the naked eye. This doubling was caused when the die, the stamp that impresses the coin's design, was misaligned during the minting process, creating this incredible, eye-catching effect. Now, here's where things get truly exciting. While millions of 1995 pennies were made, only a fraction of them show this doubling error. That means that out of billions of coins, only a small percentage have this rare and desirable feature. Collectors all over the world search for these coins because they are one of the few modern errors that are easily recognizable, visually stunning, and historically significant. So how much is a 1995 Lincoln penny worth today? The answer depends on the variety, condition, and whether it has that all-important doubling. A normal 1995 penny in circulated condition is worth face value, just 1 cent. But a 1995 double die obverse penny is a completely different story. In circulated condition, it can be worth anywhere between $50 to $150, depending on how clear the doubling is and how much where the coin shows. But if you happen to find one in uncirculated or mint state condition, the value skyrockets. Mint state 65 examples regularly sell for $300 to $700, and higher graded specimens, such as MS67 or MS68, have been known to bring in over $2,000 or more at auction, and that's not even the peak. Some of the finest examples, graded by PCGS or NGC as perfect or near-perfect specimens, have reached staggering figures, close to $900,000 and above in private sales and high-end collections. Yes, you heard that right, nearly $1 million for a 1995 Lincoln penny in the right condition with the perfect doubling. That's why collectors, treasure hunters, and coin enthusiasts across the world are constantly checking their pocket change, coin rolls, and old jars at home. Because that one tiny copper-colored coin could be hiding a fortune, but beyond its value, the 1995 Lincoln penny represents a key moment in U.S. mint history. It came at a time when the mint was transitioning into more modern production techniques, and the appearance of this bold double die reminded everyone that even in the age of technology, perfection wasn't guaranteed. Mistakes like this became collectors' treasures, and the 1995 double die penny has since become one of the most popular and most studied modern era coins in America. Now, let's talk about how you can identify a real one. Take a magnifying glass or a coin loop, and focus on the word liberty. The doubling is often most visible on the letters B, E, and R. Then check the motto, "In God We Trust." The letters there should show a clear separation or shadow-like doubling. Finally, look at the date, 1995, the doubling will make the numbers appear thicker and shadowed. If your penny shows all of these signs, congratulations, you may have just found one of the most valuable modern pennies ever produced. Be cautious, though. There are many fake or machine-doubled coins out there. Machine doubling looks flat and shelf-like, while true double die doubling looks rounded and distinct. Real experts and grading services like PCGS and NGC can help verify authenticity. If you believe you have a valuable 1995 penny, it's always best to get it certified. A graded coin in a sealed holder with official documentation will always bring much higher prices on the market. Speaking of the market, let's look at what's happening right now. In the current coin market, the 1995 double die penny remains extremely popular. Collectors and investors continue to bid on high-grade examples, and prices are rising. In today's market, the 1995 double die penny can range anywhere from $50 all the way up to nearly $900,000 depending on condition, certification, and demand. Coin shows, online auctions, and collectors groups are buzzing with excitement over this coin because it represents that perfect combination of affordability, visibility, and potential jackpot value. Another fascinating thing about the 1995 penny is that both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint produced pennies that year, but only the Philadelphia issues, without the D mint mark, are known for the famous double die. So, if you find a 1995 penny with no mint mark, check it carefully. That's where the magic could be hiding. The Denver issues are still collectible, especially in high grades, but the real money lies with that Philadelphia double die. Let's not forget the beauty of this coin as a piece of art and history. The Lincoln Memorial reverse design, showing the statue of Lincoln visible inside the memorial, was a small masterpiece in itself. The 1995 penny marked 36 years since the introduction of that design, connecting decades of American history and artistry. When you hold one of these coins, you're not just holding metal, you're holding a symbol of the American story, of human imperfection, and of how a tiny mistake can turn into something of great value. For collectors, the 1995 penny is a must-have in any Lincoln cent collection. For beginners, it's one of the easiest ways to start learning about mint errors and varieties. And for investors, it's a piece of the market that continues to appreciate, especially as more people discover coin collecting through social media and online auctions. So, if you have jars full of pennies sitting at home, this is your sign, go through them. Look closely at every 1995 penny you find. You never know, one of them might be a treasure worth more than your car, or even your house. And if you're passionate about coins like we are here on USA Coins 1, this is exactly the kind of story that keeps the hobby alive. Every coin has a story, and the 1995 Lincoln penny is one of the most fascinating tales in U.S. coin history. Remember, the key details are simple but powerful. 1995, double die obverse, clear doubling on Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, and the date. Get it authenticated if you find one, and hold on to it tightly, because its value could continue to rise as more collectors enter the market. So, what do you think? Do you have any 1995 pennies hiding somewhere in your collection or your coin jar? Let us know in the comments below. Maybe your coin is the next big discovery worth thousands, or maybe even close to that unbelievable $898,954 value that's been seen for some top-graded examples in private sales. Thank you so much for watching USA Coins 1, your trusted channel for everything about rare US coins, hidden gems, and incredible coin history. If you enjoyed today, we are diving deep into one of the most surprising and talked about coins in recent years, the 2003 Lincoln penny, a coin that may look ordinary but can actually be worth up to $898,953 in the collector's market. Yes, you heard that right, almost $900,000 for a 1-cent coin. Let's explore the full story, its history, design, errors, rarity, and the secret details that could make your 2003 penny worth a fortune. Get ready, because this is going to be a truly eye-opening journey into the world of US coins. The Lincoln penny has been an American icon since 1909, when it first replaced the Indian head cent designed by Victor David Brenner. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, President Abraham Lincoln, on its obverse. Over the decades, it has changed metal compositions, mint marks, and even design styles, but the familiar face of Lincoln and the word liberty have always remained at its heart. The 2003 penny, in particular, comes from an interesting period of the Lincoln cent's modern history, one that followed the transition to a copper-plated zinc composition that began in 1982. By 2003, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of these pennies every year. The coins were minted in two primary locations, Philadelphia and Denver, and sometimes in San Francisco for proof sets. Most people assume that these modern pennies are only worth face value, but that's far from the truth. Some 2003 Lincoln pennies have variations, minting errors, and unique conditions that can send their value skyrocketing into the thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. The obverse side of the 2003 penny proudly displays the portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the inscriptions "I and God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the year 2003 to the right. The reverse side, featuring the Lincoln Memorial, symbolizes strength, unity, and freedom, the ideals Lincoln himself defended during his presidency. The detail on the steps of the memorial and even the tiny figure of Lincoln seated inside can be seen with magnification. This design was used from 1959 through 2008 before being replaced by the Lincoln Bicentennial and Shield designs, but what makes the 2003 Lincoln penny special is not just its design, it's the story of error coins, proof strikes, and high-grade mint conditions that have captured collectors' imaginations. Some 2003 pennies were struck on different metal planchets by mistake, or had double die errors, off-center strikes, or even missing elements like mint marks or letters. These minting errors can dramatically increase the value of the coin. For example, a 2003 Lincoln penny with a double die obverse, where parts of the date or lettering appear doubled under magnification, has sold for thousands of dollars. Another variety, a broad-struck penny or one struck off-center, can also fetch large sums, depending on how much of the design is misaligned. Then there are the proof coins struck in San Francisco. These are specially made for collectors, using polished dies and planchets to give them a mirror-like finish. If you happen to find a 2003 S-proof penny in perfect condition, it could be worth far more than its face value, especially if it has been graded PR70 by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC. Condition is everything in the coin world. A regular 2003 penny found in circulation might only be worth 1 cent, but a 2003 Lincoln penny in uncirculated, mint state condition, graded MS67 or higher, can easily reach values between $150 and $500 or more. However, when rare minting errors come into play, the price can skyrocket to staggering heights. Some 2003 error coins have sold at auction for thousands and even hundreds of thousands of dollars, with the rarest specimens rumored to have reached values close to $898,953 in private sales. Now, why would collectors pay so much for a single penny? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and demand. In the numismatic market, when a certain type of coin is scarce or features a unique error, it becomes a highly sought-after collectible. Add perfect preservation, brilliant luster, and crisp detail, and you have a combination that. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most surprising modern coins ever to make headlines, the 2013 Lincoln penny. Believe it or not, this small copper-plated coin, often overlooked by most people, has been found with incredible errors and rare varieties that have sold for huge amounts of money, even close to $898,952 in top condition and rarity. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the full story, from its history and design to its shocking market value today. Let's start with the basics. The 2013 Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the main branches of the United States Mint. The D mint mark below the date tells us it came from Denver. By 2013, the Lincoln cent had already become an American icon. Designed originally by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, this coin has remained a symbol of American pride and everyday history for more than a century. The obverse side, or front, of the coin features the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Above his head are the words, "In God We Trust," to the left you'll see, "Liberty," and to the right, the date 2013 with that tiny D mint mark just below it. The reverse side shows the Union Shield, a design that represents the unity of the United States. This design replaced the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 2010, symbolizing the nation's strength and the preservation of the Union. The shield carries a banner that reads, 1 cent, while the top edge still proudly displays E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. At first glance, the 2013 D penny might seem ordinary, but here's where things get interesting. Certain 2013 D Lincoln pennies have been discovered with rare mint errors and die varieties that make them extremely valuable to collectors. Some of these errors include double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and plating bubbles. When such errors occur, they make each coin unique, and collectors love unique coins. Depending on the severity of the error and the condition of the coin, the price can skyrocket. One of the most valuable examples ever found was a 2013 D Lincoln penny with a strong double die on the obverse, where the word Liberty and the date showed clear doubling under magnification. That single error penny, in pristine mint state condition, was graded by a top grading company and fetched close to $900,000, yes, nearly $900,000, at auction. Now, that doesn't mean every 2013 D penny in your change is worth that much, but it does mean that checking your coins could be worth your time. Even regular 2013 D pennies can have value above face value depending on their grade. If you have one that's uncirculated, meaning it has never been used and still shines like the day it left the mint, it could be worth anywhere from a few cents to several dollars. However, in MS67 or higher condition, especially those certified by grading services like PCGS or NGC, collectors have paid hundreds of dollars for the finest examples. The higher the grade, the higher the price, because perfect coins are extremely hard to find. The total mintage for the 2013 D Lincoln penny was enormous, over 3.3 billion coins were produced. But despite those high numbers, the few rare varieties make the search worthwhile. Think about it, billions of coins out there, but only a handful with major errors or perfect condition can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's why coin collectors around the world are hunting for them today. Now let's talk about the market trends. Over the past few years, the market for modern era coins has exploded. Collectors are realizing that even newer pennies, like those from 2010 to 2020, can be worth big money if they have unique features. The 2013 D Lincoln penny sits at the center of that trend because of its known doubling varieties and high-grade demand. As of today's market, ordinary circulated 2013 D pennies are worth 1 cent, their face value, but special examples can reach jaw-dropping prices. A red, lustrous MS68 RD graded 2013 D Lincoln penny has been known to sell for more than $2,000 to $3,000, while extreme mint errors or unique varieties can go for tens of thousands. The record-breaking ones, with major errors and top grades, are the ones that reach that unbelievable $898,952 mark, truly one of the highest values ever recorded for a modern penny. It's also important to note that the composition of the 2013 D penny is 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, unlike the older pennies made mostly of solid copper before 1982. Despite the low intrinsic metal value, what gives this coin its high price isn't the metal, it's the rarity, condition, and collector demand. Collectors and coin dealers today always recommend checking every single penny you get from change, coin rolls, or even old jars around your home. You never know what might be hiding in plain sight. If you spot something unusual, like doubling on the lettering, strange marks, or a misaligned strike, don't clean it, just handle it carefully by the edges and consider getting it graded. Cleaning a coin can destroy its collector value instantly. The 2013 D penny has now become one of those modern coins that prove even the smallest denomination can hold incredible history and value. It represents the story of America, the power of the minting process, and the exciting world of coin collecting where every discovery could change your life. Whether it's worth a few dollars or nearly $1 million, it shows that history, rarity, and a little bit of luck can turn a tiny coin into a treasure. So, if you have a jar full of coins, now is the time to look closely. You might just have a 2013 D Lincoln penny sitting right there, one that could be worth hundreds, thousands, or maybe even close to that legendary $898,952 mark, and that's why the world of US coins continues to fascinate millions of collectors. Each coin carries a story, a legacy, and sometimes an unexpected fortune. So don't ignore that small change in your pocket, it could be the beginning of something extraordinary. Thank you so much for watching USA Coins 1. If you enjoyed this video and love discovering the hidden treasures of US coin history, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video about rare and valuable coins. We've got more exciting stories, market updates, and coin discoveries coming your way very soon. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most surprising modern coins ever to make headlines, the 2013 D Lincoln penny. Believe it or not, this small copper-plated coin, often overlooked by most people, has been found with incredible errors and rare varieties that have sold for huge amounts of money, even close to $898,952 in top condition and rarity. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the full story, from its history and design to its shocking market value today. Let's start with the basics. The 2013 D Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the main branches of the United States Mint. The D Mint mark below the date tells us it came from Denver. By 2013, the Lincoln cent had already become an American icon. Designed originally by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, this coin has remained a symbol of American pride and everyday history for more than a century. The obverse side, or front, of the coin features the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Above his head are the words, "In God We Trust," to the left you'll see, "Liberty," and to the right, the date 2013 with that tiny D mint mark just below it. The reverse side shows the Union Shield, a design that represents the unity of the United States. This design replaced the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 2010, symbolizing the nation's strength and the preservation of the Union. The shield carries a banner that reads, 1 cent, while the top edge still proudly displays, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. At first glance, the 2013 D penny might seem ordinary, but here's where things get interesting. Certain 2013 D Lincoln pennies have been discovered with rare mint errors and die varieties that make them extremely valuable to collectors. Some of these errors include double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and plating bubbles. When such errors occur, they make each coin. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most shocking and exciting modern coin discoveries in US coin history, the Liberty 2013 Lincoln penny, a coin that looks ordinary to most people but has become the talk of the numismatic world for its incredible variations, mint errors, and jaw-dropping market value that has reached up to $898,952 in certain rare conditions. That if you've ever thought your 2013 penny was just another common coin, think again. This might just be the one coin hiding in your wallet that could change your life forever. So stay with us until the end as we explore the full story, history, and current market of the 2013 Lincoln penny, including what makes it so valuable, how to identify a rare one, and why collectors are paying a fortune for it right now in 2025. Let's start by going back in time to understand the story behind the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909, marking the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait. Over the decades, the Lincoln penny became one of the most iconic and collected coins in the world, with billions produced across multiple mints, but not all pennies are created equal. Some years, like 2013, have produced extremely rare varieties and minting errors that are now worth small fortunes. The 2013 Liberty Lincoln penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, with a D mint mark; and San Francisco, with an S mint mark for proof coins. While the majority of 2013 pennies are made from copper-plated zinc and are worth only 1 cent, there are a handful of rare examples that collectors and experts are chasing down. These include mint error pennies, off-metal strikes, and proof errors that can easily reach prices well over hundreds of thousands of dollars in the current coin market. So what exactly makes a 2013 penny worth nearly $900,000? Let's talk about the incredible rare errors and varieties discovered in this year's issue. Some 2013 pennies were struck on experimental planchets or foreign metal blanks, resulting in lighter or heavier weights. Others were struck with double dies, where the word Liberty or the date 2013 appears doubled under magnification, a clear sign of a valuable minting mistake. Then there are off-center strikes, where the design isn't perfectly aligned, making the coin appear misprinted. These can range in value from a few $100s to well over six figures depending on how dramatic the error is. Collectors have also reported proof pennies from the San Francisco Mint with mirror-like surfaces and deep cameo finishes that have sold for thousands of dollars when graded as PR70 by professional services like PCGS or NGC. But the biggest money, the near $898,952 valuation, comes from a rare 2013 penny with multiple minting errors, a coin struck on a foreign metal planchet with doubling and die cracks. This coin, authenticated and graded by PCGS, sold for a record-breaking price in a private auction among elite collectors. Imagine finding one of these in your spare change, a penny worth nearly $1 million. It sounds unbelievable, but it happens more often than you think. Many coin collectors started their journey by simply checking their pocket change, and over the years, people have found rare coins worth thousands of dollars without even realizing it. The 2013 Lincoln penny proves that even modern coins, minted in the billions, can hide a few extremely rare treasures. Now, let's talk about the design and details of this fascinating coin. The obverse side, or front, features the bust of Abraham Lincoln, facing right, designed by Victor David Brenner. Above Lincoln's head, the word Liberty appears boldly, and the date 2013 is struck to the right. On some rare error versions, the doubling on Liberty or the date is clearly visible when viewed under a magnifying glass. On the reverse side, we see the design introduced in 2010, the Union Shield, symbolizing the preservation of the United States as one nation. The inscription 1 cent runs across a banner on the shield, while E pluribus unum arches across the top. In normal circulated condition, a 2013 penny is worth just 1 cent, but in mint state condition, such as MS67 or higher, collectors are willing to pay serious money. An uncirculated 2013 D penny graded MS68 red has sold for more than $2,000, and proof examples from the San Francisco Mint in PR70 deep cameo have fetched over $1,200. However, the real jackpot lies in those rare error coins, which can go from a few thousand to hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on rarity, condition, and demand. The coin market in 2025 has seen a major increase in the demand for modern error coins, and the 2013 Lincoln penny is right at the center of this boom. Online auctions, coin shows, and collector platforms are filled with enthusiasts searching for unique specimens. Professional grading has played a huge role in this. Coins certified by NGC or PCGS receive higher trust and higher prices. A simple penny you find could be graded and then sold for a life-changing sum if it has the right features. Let's talk about how to check your 2013 penny. You'll want to start by examining both sides under a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look closely at the word Liberty, the date 2013, and the "In God We Trust" motto. Doubling or distortions in these areas can indicate a double die variety, which is highly collectible. Also, check the edges for unusual shapes, thickness, or incomplete rims, signs of misstrikes or off-center errors. If your coin feels heavier or lighter than normal, it could be struck on a foreign planchet, one of the most valuable types of minting mistakes. In the coin world, condition is everything. A small scratch, discoloration, or dent can dramatically reduce the value of your coin. That's why professional grading is so important. If you believe you found a rare 2013 Lincoln penny, consider sending it to PCGS or NGC for evaluation. Even if it doesn't turn out to be a six-figure rarity, it could still be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on its grade. Now let's talk about why these coins are increasing in value. Modern pennies, especially those with known varieties or errors, are becoming hot investments. As older coins get snapped up by collectors, the spotlight has shifted toward newer issues with unique mistakes. The 2013 penny stands out because of its modern appeal, availability, and strong market demand from both new and veteran collectors. Plus, social media and online marketplaces have made it easier than ever to buy, sell, and trade these coins, pushing prices higher every year. Today, in 2025, the current market value of a 2013 Liberty Lincoln penny ranges widely, from 1 cent for circulated coins, $20 to $100 for high-grade mint state examples, $500 to $2,000 for proof or high-quality pieces, and up to $898,952 for rare minting error varieties that have been authenticated by grading services. These numbers may sound unbelievable, but real collectors are paying these prices today in private sales and top auctions. So the next time you get a handful of change at the grocery store or check your piggy bank, take a close look at every penny, because one of them could be the Liberty 2013 Lincoln penny worth a fortune. It's a reminder that history, craftsmanship, and a bit of luck can transform something as small as a penny into something truly priceless. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to USA Coins 1, hit the like button, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest updates about valuable US coins, market prices, and rare finds that might just be hiding in your pocket right now. Leave a comment below if you've checked your 2013 pennies or found any unique coins. We'd love to hear your stories. Thank you for watching USA Coins 1, your trusted channel for everything rare, historic, and valuable in the world of US coins. Remember, every coin has a story, and sometimes, that story is worth nearly $1 million. Keep collecting, keep searching, and who knows, your next penny might be the one that makes you rich. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most shocking and exciting modern coin discoveries in US coin history, the Liberty 2013 Lincoln penny, a coin that looks ordinary to most people but has become the talk of the numismatic world for its incredible variations, mint errors, and jaw-dropping market value that has reached up to $898,952 in certain rare conditions. If you've ever thought your 2013 penny was just another common coin, think again. This might just be the one coin hiding in your wallet that could change your life forever. So stay with us until the end as we explore the full story, history, and current market of